Hi, if she's not wearing pink, how are you gonna know she's a girl? Andrew, and this is Gayties Toys. Today's MIA 80s ladies is a big one. It's probably the big one. There's no female character more recognizable with such a huge brand throughout the 70s, 80s, 90s, who was overlooked so hard for so long. And likewise, no one has had as much success as her. And that, of course, is the First Lady of Transformers, Arcee. The notion of female Transformers came pretty early in the franchise. The character of Ratchet, named after Nurse Ratchet, was originally conceived to be a female Autobot. That said, they didn't want to get into gender at the time, and they decided to make everyone he, even though he is a gender. Go figure. While scripting the Transformers movie, however, Ron Friedman really pushed for women in the cast. Not just human women, but actual female Autobots. And in that case, he made Arcee. She was, in essence, the first Transformer created specifically for the franchise, and to be a recurring character throughout Season 4 going forward. There was pushback, but eventually he did win. Since Season 3 was happening concurrent to the development of the script, they decided to sort of sneak in an episode detailing where these female Autobots came from, and that's where we got characters like Elita 1 and Moonracer, and just the whole concept and why we hadn't seen them before, that being they were left behind on Cybertron and kept the Civil War going for millions of years after Optimus Prime left. It was very strange, very awkward reunion amongst all of them. Arcee, like the rest of the cast of the movie, were developed by Floro Deary, who had sort of early designs that the toys certainly reflect, but the final designs made for the movie, kind of go in a different direction. So that's really why we see an Arcee with more kind of like strange ports in her front. She had a much different shape, but the whole design credo from the start was naked Princess Leia. That's pretty much what she was made to look like. This Star Wars effect you can certainly see with the rest of the cast. You've got, of course, your Princess Leia, you've got your roguish Han Solo type in Springer, your old man mentor Obi-Wan with Cup, and of course Hot Rod Tyrannosaurus Prime being the Luke Skywalker young man developing into the hero he was always destined to be. Arcee was voiced by Sue Blue, who has sort of appeared in some other of these MIA 80s ladies characters. There's a bit of a curse around whoever she voices. The character herself, unfortunately, did tend to be a lot of stereotypes. She was sort of a mother figure to young Daniel Witwicky. She was always a romantic foil for several other characters, including, Hot Rod originally in the movie, then she moved on to Springer throughout Season 2. By the time we got to the unfortunate Headmaster, she was macking on Chrome Dome, so, who she's dating has been sort of an integral part of her character to this day. As mentioned earlier, the early designs by Floro Deary were sent off to Hasbro to be made into toys. We've seen prototypes, and I want to say prototypes, of Arcee. One is a car, one is the robot. A lot of toy engineers over the years have attempted to make these things, marry the two. What looks like happened is that they made two different toys and would hope to, try to make a transform later on, because they're too disparate. They don't look like they're actual proper Transformers. Likewise, this early design sort of relied more on the orange, peach, and pink kind of colors than the more familiar ones of white and pink that we would see later on. Because it was Hasbro, this never happened. This toy was never released. It was never really developed past the prototype. They had talked a big game about putting women in the movie and as regular characters in the cartoon, but they never included her in the toy line. That said, she wasn't completely off the table at Hasbro. During the Headmaster saga, she was considered to be made into a Chrome Dome repaint, just pink and white, straight repaint. Likewise, the non-transforming Action Masters, there are prototypes of her being considered for that as well, but by the time the proper G1 Transformers was done, the possibility for a real Arcee was done too. The final verdict is wild compared to most others. The first, let's say, official Arcee toy came out of Beast Wars of all places. In the cartoon, Rat Trap had a throwaway line saying, "My great aunt Arcee," and so that sort of made canon that he had some relation to Arcee. As such, for the 2001 BotCon exclusive, they took a Black Arachnia trans metal, repainted it pink and white, and called it Arcee, and it was truly baffling and absolutely not what we wanted. From there, all we would see is a couple of slug figures, maybe some Creo, construction type toys, but she, again, was likewise on the back burner until Generations in 2014, when they released a version that was more in line with her IDW look at the time, where she was quite literally a psychopath. Likewise, Takara made the same figure very shortly afterwards as a variant with her proper, more gray cartoon colors. And honestly, to this day, outside of the Masterpiece line, this is the best Arcee toy you could possibly ask for. Since then, Arcee has sort of graduated up to a whole other different level of fame and infamy. She is in almost every toy line. She is in the movies. She was really almost the star of the Transformers Prime cartoon. She was very popular in the animated cartoon. She sort of made a much larger role in the movies recently with the Rise of the Beast movie. She's really graduated up to not just the female character, like the token chick that keeps on popping up in different series, but rather one of Prime's lieutenants. She's been retroactively placed into the main cast, almost the original G1 cast, which technically speaking she wasn't, but she's now, not just the chick, but rather one of the big boys. This is truly unprecedented, especially amongst female characters from 80s properties. Whenever there's a new cartoon out, there often is a token chick character. This will usually go to Windblade or Strongarm, but Arcee is now just sort of one of the chief main characters who has risen above that, and it's truly incredible to witness. And that's my thoughts on Arcee. Truly one of the the biggest graduations of these lost ladies that should have been and could have been, and Arcee's really proven, how it's done, how it can be done, and how you can really entrench yourself as a major milestone within the property. So thank you for watching. Autobots roll out. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time on Gayties Toys.